Yes, so this is Tom Meyer from the Bellevue Schools, the Bellevue Community School District Superintendent. Just giving you another weekly update. This one follows our board meeting, which we had last night, December 8th. Some things that talk about there. One thing we talked about was problem-based learning. We presented some information on that. I might give you a couple ideas on that. You know, what is problem-based learning is a question that some people may ask. And well, it's basically where students are solving problems that are real-life situations or a real-life situation that can be compared to the past, how they're different, how they're alike, what can be done in future situations. What we want to do is prepare students who can solve problems in the future, those unpredictable problems that will happen in the future in their lives. And one thing we ask is what real life problems are students solving daily in each unit, in each chapter, whatever the case is, and what do we do here at the Bellevue Schools that makes student learning unique and engaging for students? You know, learning is not sitting in a seat all day listening to the teacher. It's not memorizing facts and just regurgitating information. Instead, learning ultimately is, you know, being engaged in a learning, finding some enthusiasm through that engagement in the learning, having a passion to learn, but also it's beyond a test one day. You've heard me say before, it shouldn't matter when the test is. Take semester tests, for example. It shouldn't matter when that test is, because if I truly learned it, I learned it, and I'm going to know it well into the future as well. It's applying their learning and synthesizing and evaluating information to come up with a clear picture of what things really mean. We can find a lot of things on the internet, being that on a computer, on a smartphone, whatever the case is, but some things we have to do, we have to go beyond just looking for basic information. We have to put informational things together. So that was the start of the meeting. And then Todd Bowman and Brian Moore, our state House our state person in the House of Representatives and our state person in the Iowa Senate, came and they talked about some funding issues with the legislative session that is beginning in January. Talk about allowable growth and funding, talk about school calendar and what that means, and I'll get into that in just a few minutes. We talked about some other things and basically just about what funding is needed and how they're going to go about finding the money for everyone who wants money that way for their benefit that way. We obviously stress the aspect of education. A lot of money is given to education already by the state government, and that's very much appreciated, but we want to continue providing programs and creating new programs that will benefit student learning more and more. We also had a Comet School Finance quiz for the board members. I'll be happy to share that with any members of the community who would like to hear that as well or see that quiz and the answers for it. Basically just learning about school finance and making sure that we're making educated decisions about everything we do, from the superintendent to the board members, making sure everyone understands what different things mean. We also talked about our science rooms and where that is going right now. We've been talking about that for a few weeks. We have another meeting, actually a week from today, with the architects to kind of finalize some plans, and we'll be moving forward with that. We will actually be expanding Mr. Toops' room, which is a north science room, and Mr. Chambers' room, which is the south science room, and we'll actually have a somewhat of a greenhouse type area. It won't be a greenhouse, but it'll be an all glass area with sun coming in to raise plants in there for Mr. Schrader and Mr. Chambers in that way. Talk about some other plans for facilities and things like that. And as I mentioned, facilities, we're having a facilities committee meeting on January 8th. At 6:30 p.m. at the middle school, high school. If you're interested in being on that committee, please contact me. We'd love to have you involved. I have about 30 to 35 people already involved in that, but just looking at where are things at in the school. What does the school need to provide better learning opportunities and better developmental opportunities for our students, regardless if they're in preschool or they're a senior in high school and moving on to college. Like I said, we talked about the school calendar, and some things we talked about with that were what the start date should be this upcoming year. We looked at different things, and we're actually working with Maquoketa, Easton Valley, Andrew, and Delwood, along with Marquette and Sacred Heart and Maquoketa. We'll be coming up with a start date here. Probably in the next month to 2 months, we'll be talking about that way and what things actually mean and when we're going to start that way. Talk about pushing it back a little bit. It's just some things to keep in mind here that way. Some upcoming dates here. Fall practices, which seems like a long time away right now, but fall practices for volleyball, cross country, and football started on August 10th. The first high school football game is August 27th. The first high school volleyball game will be, I believe, is August 25th. First cross-country meet is usually about Thursday, August 27th, and so a lot of things are happening. One thing that happened this year too, the Iowa State Fair was pushed back to August 13th through 23rd, so that's one reason we're discussing and pushing some things back, along with the aspect of expanding that summer a little bit more that way too. For students, but it may be a situation where we need to talk about the entire school calendar and when should school meet? Should we have a 3-month break virtually in the middle of the summer, or should that be spread out throughout the year? Those are bigger questions, the question we may be coming to sometime in the future. We'll also be doing a community and parent survey in general about the school, and you can expect that to be coming out sometime actually sometime during the third quarter. I'll let you know about that. I'll put that in Facebook. We'll put it on our website. It'll just be a link to go to a survey, and it'll get turned in. It's all anonymous, but we will get that out to you as soon as possible. Fall sports, winter sports are well underway. Middle school, high school wrestling. We have about 25 kids total there out for wrestling. High school girls basketball has about 17 out. High school boys basketball has about 32 students out. Girls bowling has right around 8 to 10 students, and boys bowling has about 12. Those numbers are a little sketchy on my part that way, but I'm pretty sure that's about where they're at. We also have middle school girls basketball going on right now. There are about 20 students out there, and middle school wrestling, like I mentioned that before, there's about 11 students in that, and then middle school boys basketball will be starting up too. So things are well underway in regard to those things that way. Want to remind you of the concerts coming up. There's actually a preschool concert tonight, which is Tuesday. That's at 6:30 at the elementary. All the rest of the concerts at the middle school, high school. Thursday night is the elementary concert for K through 2 is at 6:30. And 3 through 5 is at 7:15, and those are middle school, high school, multi-purpose gym. And then on Friday is the middle school concert. That's at 6:30. And then on next Monday, it would be December 15th. That is when the high school concert will be. And then our last day before winter break is December 19th. That's a Friday. It's actually a week from this upcoming Friday. And then students do not return to school until January 5th. I'll talk to all of you again next week. If anyone ever has any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you very much.